What is up, Passion Builders? So, welcome to this lesson on how to grow your business. And if you were really to summarize every method on growing your business, you can really just put it into 4 different categories. So that's what we're going to go over here today. So I'm really excited to present this to you because once you understand this, by the end of the lesson, you're always going to know how to grow your business and you're never going to have a question ever again on how to grow your business. So there are 4 ways to grow a business, whether it's an online business, an offline business, whatever. These are all the same ways to grow a business if you have a business. If you do what I say in this training today, there's absolutely no way you can't make your business profitable. So you're going to be able to make your business profitable if you understand these 4 ways, right? So if you were to take every book about growing a business, anyone that's consulting about growing a business, or talk to any successful entrepreneurs, you can really simplify everything related to growing a business into 4 different ways to grow it. So only 4 ways to grow a business. I'm really hammering on that because it's important that you understand there are only 4 ways to grow a business, okay? So if you keep optimizing each one of these 4, your business is going to continue to grow. So you can optimize one of them or you can optimize all of them. But if you keep optimizing, the business will continue to grow, okay? And once you understand this, you're always going to be able to reach your revenue goals, always. So this is what I follow, and every time I follow this, the business keeps growing, okay? So this is what we're going to cover here today. We're going to talk about lead generation. What is it? Why is it? How can it help you grow? We're going to talk about sales conversion. What is it? What do you do about it? And how can it help you grow? We're going to talk about the raise your price. Why to do it, how to do it, and how can it make you grow? And then also the customer ascension method. Why we do it, how does it make you grow? All right, so let's talk about lead generation. So in the world of online business, lead generation is simply how many people have opted in with their email. And a lead can mean a lot of different ways in also the world. Maybe somebody wanted more information. Maybe somebody submitted their phone number. Maybe somebody had a referral for somebody. Those are all other methods of lead generation. But what we primarily think about is lead generation in the online business world is this, if someone opted in with their email. Okay. So how to improve lead generation profitably. These are the ways to improve it. So one way is to simply get more leads. Like if you gather more leads, like if you know your numbers and you're like, okay, every time this many people opt in, I'm making X amount of dollars. So all we need to do is just open up the gates bigger and have more traffic turning into leads. And then that's one way to grow your business, right? Another way is to lower the lead costs. So maybe one method is, okay, well, maybe I need to lower the lead costs so that I could become more profitable with this. And another way is, well, maybe I need better leads. Maybe you're getting more leads, maybe you're getting lower lead costs, but maybe the quality of leads is not good. So that's something else you got to think about too, is like, how do you get better leads? Well, that's where all the data comes in. That's where you start to understand who are the buyers, where are people buying from the most, what interests, what lookalike audiences, what is buying the most, and that's how we get better leads, okay? So that's lead generation. So let's just review it again, just so you're really clear on this. So more leads, right? Get more leads can grow your business. Lower the lead costs can grow your business. And better leads can grow your business. Does that all make sense? Okay? So that's lead generation. That's one aspect of growing your business, is to get more leads. So are we all clear on that? Cool. So the next way is sales conversion. This is the other way to grow your business. So in the world of online business, sales conversion is simply how many people you converted into a sale that have opted in with their email. So here's how we can improve our sales conversions. One is better essential content, whether that's your bonus video, your value video, your webinar, the essential content that we want people to absorb. That is one way to have better sales conversions. So make it better, right? If you make it better, then the sales should convert better. One other way is better ads. Maybe you need to attract the people that you want more and repel the people you don't want, and to call out the audience in a very specific way and to do better unveiling their current situation to their desired future situation and showing that you can move them away from pain or move them towards pleasure better in the ads. That's another way to improve sales conversions. Another way is better emails. Do a better job of having good copy in your emails that's on point with your messaging. Does it all follow the big domino? Is it very clear? Is my messaging clear? That's another way to improve sales conversions. And another way is better results. Get better results for your current customers and show them off. Like, that's one of the methods that I just love, is help people get results and show them off. It's like the easiest way to make sales in the world is to deliver what you promise and show it off. Does that make sense? Okay. And another way to improve sales conversion is to have a better offer. So maybe your offer can be better. So let's review. Better essential content, right? What is the meat of what people absorb that unveils the value you have so well that they value that more than the money that's in their pocket? And that's when the deal's made. Another way is better ads. Are you doing a better job of calling out the audience, repelling the people you don't want to work with, or the people that you want as customers versus the people you don't want as customers? And are you having better copy in your emails? Do your emails do what they need to do? Are you getting results for your current customers? And do you have a good offer? You can improve the offer. Those are all the different ways to improve the sales conversion aspect of growing a business. So we have lead generation and we have sales conversion. Following so far? Okay, excellent. And another way is a better order page. So maybe you send people to the order page. Well, let's make it better. And a lot of this can be also integrated on the order page as far as the messaging aspect of it all. Okay. And maybe you do calls. Well, maybe you need to get better at the calls. That's another way to improve sales conversions. What if your close rate went from 25% to 35%? I mean, that's a huge number if you really look at the numbers, right? So these are all the different ways to improve your sales conversion. So you got the lead generation, improve your lead generation. That's one aspect to grow your business. And the next way is to improve your sales conversion. Everyone cool? Everyone following? All right. The next way is to raise your price. Okay. This is the next way to grow your business. So it's a very interesting phenomenon. Our instinct when we raise our prices is that not as many people will buy. So once again, you have to look at the data. So one of the things that I like to think about if you do raise your price is add more value. If you don't feel good about raising your price, well, think about what can I do to add more value to it where I do feel good about raising the price, because it's much easier to add more value than it is to lower the price. Does that make sense? Add more value, raise the price is a much easier situation than lowering the price. And I'm telling you right now, lowering your price is a very easy way to have your business wither away. It's a race to the bottom at that point. You want to race to the top, okay? So think about, what could I do to raise my price, give more value, where everyone wins? So a lot of this is with tracking the proper data. So in this program, we have tools to track your data, track your numbers and everything. So the numbers tell you what to do. So if the numbers are saying you need to raise your price, well then you need to raise your price. And I'm going to share with you an example here that will probably blow your mind. Okay, so if you do the math, and this was a big shock for me, by the way, when I figured this out. Even if you have less customers, your profit margins are higher. Check this out. So let's look at this example here. So let's say you initially had a $297 offer, okay? And you converted 5% of all the leads. Okay, this is just a hypothetical. Let's just see what happens. So if you had 100 leads, that would be $1,485. Okay? Now, let's say you raised your price to $997, but you only ended up converting 2%. So you're converting less, you have less customers, and you raised your price. That would be $1,994. So check it out. That is a 34.2% growth of your business, all by changing a number, even though it converts less. Now that should make you see a little bit differently than you were before. Okay? So you just grew your business by changing the number. And if you don't feel good about changing the number, think about, what can I do to my offer to make me feel good about changing that number? Okay? So even though it converts into less customers. You're still more profitable. But here's the real kicker. A lot of the times it converts around the same. Okay? So if it converted the same, 5% at $297 price point, 100 leads, that'd be $1,485. 5% at $997 price point, 100 leads, that'd be $4,985. So if it converts around the same, that's a 235% growth, all just by changing the number. Hopefully that allows you to see a little bit differently. Okay, so if you don't feel comfortable raising your price, add more value so you do. It's that simple. If you don't feel comfortable raising your price, add more value, and then you will feel comfortable. This is how you grow the business. This is how you do it, Passion Builders. Okay, so the next way is customer ascension. This is another way to grow your business. So the final way to grow a business is to sell more offers on the back end to existing customers. So we have members in this program. Their front end is going cool, and then maybe they'll do something on the back end, sell something else, right? So you all know the Livestream Profit Machine. That program's in this program. And that's one way some of our members are crushing it, because you're building it up on the front end, and on the back end, you have another way you can make an offer, right? So a lot of businesses understand this. A lot of business, they have a front end, but they know on the back end, they're going to sell those existing customers something else that is going to more than make up for the front end. Does that make sense? So you sell those existing customers something else. So when I first got started in this business, I sold my trombone book, right? That was the first offer that I got really profitable. And then I was like, well, what else can I sell them? Okay, trombone secrets. Boom, right? What else can I sell them? Ooh, improv program. Ooh, what else can I sell them? Ooh, workshops. You see how that works? And then you have that all planned out where you're making money on the back end. Okay, so there's two ways to do this. One is to create a one-time offer inside of existing funnels. So I have studied online entrepreneurs that have all hit millions of dollars, and they understand this. And I'm going to go through the exact strategy that they all implement. Okay, and this is how we do it. So this is the first way. The first way is you're going to have an order page. Then you have a little bump. So what's nice about the bump, it's a very stealth way. It's like, hey, it's that thing that flashes. You can do it on ClickFunnels where it's flashing and it says, hey, would you like to add blank to your order? This is the only place you can see it, da-da-da-da. Or normally blank, but since you are here, it's only blank, something like that. And the way you want to think about the order bump is like, say you are in a grocery line and you're grabbing something at the last minute, and it just makes sense, and you can really summarize it in about 2 or 3 sentences on the order bump, okay? Then after they do that, we have a one-time offer, aka upsell. So the word one-time offer and upsell are interchangeable, so you'll hear them both in this industry. They're both the same. So one-time offer is the same as an upsell. It goes to everyone that buys, okay? And you may be wondering, well, what do I put there? So it has to be the next logical step. So if it's not the next logical step, you may make sales, but you're going to make way more sales if you follow the format of what is the next logical step. Okay? So let's just think about my way I would do this. So they opt in for the trombone sound guide. They go to the order page. They buy the trombone book. Hey, there's a bump. Would you like to add some double tonguing exercises? This is the only place in the world you can see them. They add that on the order page. Then it says, hey, so now you got the books. The book allows you to blank, but what if there was a manual on how to use the book, utilize it, and to really practice it the most efficient way possible? Well, I have a workshop on what I went through with existing students that went through the book that really show them how to get the most out of it. See how that works? So that's one example of a one-time offer. Then once they say yes to that, or they say no, then we can hit them. What's the next logical step? The next logical step can be, okay, so now that you have a good sound from the sound guide, now that you have a good understanding of how to navigate through the instrument with the trombone exercises, and now you know how to utilize those exercises the best way possible. Well, now that you do that, you're going to want to know how it feels to improvise on your instrument and be able to play what's in your mind. So here is an improvisation method. See how that makes logical sense? And then order confirmation. So this has been studied like crazy through millions and millions of dollars in the industry. And there's something they call upsell hell, where it's like one-time offer, one-time offer, one-time offer, one-time offer, one-time offer, and it just keeps going, and it really upsets your customers. But it's been studied that this is the perfect ratio where your customers are totally happy and you can boost your revenue for your business. Okay? So don't feel weird about setting this up, because for those that move forward, there's always a percentage that will want more, and you're doing them a disservice if you're not giving them the offer if you have it set up. Okay? So I just want to show an example of how to keep with the next logical step. So let's just think about this together. All right, so now they know how to improvise. What's the next logical step? So just to show you how to keep on making one-time offers. Okay, so now that you know how to improvise, you got a good sound, you fluid on your instrument, you know how to improvise, what's the next logical step? Well, the next logical step is, well, how do you rehearse with other good musicians? So I have this rehearsal thing that shows you how to be an amazing ensemble. See how that works? That's the next logical step. Let's keep going with it. What's the next logical step after that? Well, now that you have a good sound, now that you are really fluid on your instrument, now that you can improvise what's in your mind, now that you know how to rehearse with other great musicians, well, now you need gigs. Well, I have this other resource that's going to help you get gigs. See how that works? That's how you ascend people. So you always got to think to yourself, well, now that they have this, what do they need next? And you can always present it to your audience that way too. So now that you know how to blank, I was thinking, what else do you need to become successful? So now that you know how to do this, you're going to need to know how to this. So now this is here. You see how that keeps working? And it works no matter what you're selling in this world, right? So this is like what we call the golden ratio. Order page, bump, one-time offer, another one-time offer. And if you just add this to your business, you will massively grow. Okay? That's simple. That's the golden ratio of one-time offers. Bump, OTO, OTO. Now there's another way. So that's the first way. The second way is, instead of 2 one-time offers, you change the second one to a downsell. So what's a downsell? A downsell is simply, okay, well, how does an installment plan work for you? You see? Or maybe it's lesser of that. If you're doing e-com, like some kind of physical product, well, maybe you don't want 5 extra. Maybe you just want 2 extra. See how that works? So the one I have going right now as I'm making this video for you all, I have an order page for the trombone book, the bump of the double tonguing exercises. Then I have a one-time offer of Trombone Secrets. It's how to get the most out of the book, immersion. And then I have a downsell. So if someone says no, it says, well, how does an installment plan sound for you? Okay. And then I just set up an installment plan. And you'd be amazed how many people take you up on that. So you have 2 options. Either this one, 2 one-time offers. And then a lot of people say, well, what price point should go first? The more expensive one go first? It doesn't matter. You don't think about that. All you need to think about is, what is the next logical step? And the next logical step needs to go next. Okay? So don't think about the price point. Don't put like, oh, there's no science behind this more expensive one's first or the more expensive one's second. It's, what is the next logical step? Don't think about the price point. And then the price point is whatever the price point is, right? And then the other way is one-time offer and then a downsell, which is some kind of installment plan, or maybe less quantity if it's an e-com. Does that all make sense? So that's how you drastically grow your business. Now, you need to look at your numbers, right? So that's why we track everything in this program, and that's why I have the tracking tools for you. Because you need to look at your numbers, because your numbers tell you what to do. And you got to play with the numbers, and you just experiment. You just play with the numbers and you fill it out, and okay, if I did this and this, and then what you need to find is there's a metric you need to know, which is your average cart value. Okay? So when you understand all this, your order page, one-time offer, the next one-time offer, or you have the order page with the bump and the one-time offer and the downsell, what you're going to find is, as you start running traffic through the sales process, through your funnel, you're going to get a number inside. In the stats, if you're using ClickFunnels, it will say your average cart value. And that's an important number to know, because when you run ads, you know what your average cart value is. So then that way, you can make really great decisions as far as how to drive traffic through this. Does that all make sense? Okay. And the second way of customer ascension is to make more offers to your list. So I mentioned this at the beginning of that section, as some other type of offer you can send to the list to maximize your revenue on the back end. Okay. So one way in this program is Live Stream Profit Machine. That's one example. There's many ways to do it. So as I built up my list, I put together another funnel when I first started doing all this, and it was to my improv, on-demand improv thing. And I sent it out to my list, boom. And I remember, I'll never forget the day. I'll never forget it. I was playing at a jazz club in Los Angeles, and I was at the gig with my friends, and I sent out the email to my list for the improv on-demand version of it. And I was like making like hundreds and hundreds of dollars every 5 minutes. And I think I ended the night with like maybe like $3,000 or something like that. And it was just pretty insane because the gig didn't pay that much. And I just like realized, I was like, like I figured it out. I was like, oh my gosh. So there's a few moments in my life that were huge epiphanies, right? When you get this stuff profitable, passion builders, it's like the most freeing feeling. So when I first got a taste of it, when I sent out the email to my method book, I was getting the sales notifications. It was from that moment on that I knew that I never had to worry about money ever again, because I was like, this is the way. And then when I discovered webinars, and we were hanging out with friends, making thousands of dollars on on-demand webinars, I was like, this is the way. This is the way. And I just knew that I'd never have to worry about money ever again. So I want that for you all. Okay. So just realize that on the front end, it's just the beginning, because you can actually grow your business on the back end too by just making more offers. It's the most amazing phenomenon. The more offers you make, the more money you make. So you got to say to yourself, have I made an offer? How many offers have I made? If you're not happy with your financial situation, you say to yourself, have I made any offers? How many offers have I made? Okay. So that's customer ascension. Okay. Customer ascension right there. All right. So those are the ways. And here are your next steps. So now you know the only 4 ways to grow your business. You know about lead generation, right? And you know that there's a few aspects in the lead generation. More leads, better leads, lower lead costs, right? Sales conversion, better essential content, better ads, better emails, better order page, better at doing phone calls if you do that through your funnel, right? The other way is to raise your price. If you don't feel good about raising your price, you need to say to yourself, well, what can I do to feel good about raising my price and give more value? Okay? And you know about the golden ratio, order bump, one-time offer, or order bump, one-time offer, downsell, right? You know about that. That's in customer ascension, okay? And you also know about making more offers on the back end through customer ascension, okay? So now look at your sales process and see what you can do to optimize to keep it growing. So you can keep optimizing each one of these 4 aspects. You can keep optimizing. Like, if you keep optimizing all of them, you should grow to crazy numbers. Even if you just did one, you should grow. This is what I do all day long, is I keep seeing how can I optimize the process. And if you optimize each one of these 4 stages, your business keeps growing. It's just a matter of refining and refining and refining. Okay? So this is really important. This one's probably one of the most important ones I've ever left you with at the end of a lesson. So you should probably screenshot this one. You should probably put it as your backdrop. You should probably write it on your forehead. You can only grow what you can measure. So if you're not measuring, then you can't grow your business. So that's why I have like the tools to measure everything. You need to keep track of your numbers. Does that all make sense? Okay, so Passion Builders, I want you to crush it, and I'm wishing you massive success.